Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we discuss the topic potential difference. The common word which we use for potential difference is voltage. So we discuss the topic potential difference. Or voltage. So you might have seen that water flows from a higher level to a lower level. If two tanks are kept at different levels, suppose the tanks are A and B, there are two water tanks named as A and B. The water tank A is kept at a higher level and the water tank B is kept at a lower level. And in this case, suppose that there is water in tank A and these two tanks are connected each other with a connecting pipe, then water will flow from tank A, which is at a higher level, to the tank B, which is at a lower level. So water flows from higher level to lower level. How much time it will continue? So this flow of water continues till the level of water in both the tanks become equal. If there is a difference in the height of water level of both the tanks, then only the flow of water can continue. So this flow of water continues from higher level to lower level till the level of water in both the tanks become equal. And in the same way, suppose that there are two bodies A and B. When they are kept in contact with each other, suppose A is at a higher temperature, suppose 50 degrees Celsius, and B is at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. When they are kept in contact, with each other, then heat flows from A to B. A, which is at a higher temperature, to the body B, which is at a lower temperature. And this flow of heat continues till the temperature of both the bodies become equal. In the same way, suppose that there are two bodies A and B. There are two bodies A and B having different concentration of electrons. So suppose that A has an excess of 10,000 electrons, 10,000 negative charge, and B has a deficiency of 100 electrons, which means 100 positive charge. The body A is having 10,000 electrons. This body A has 10,000 negative charge. It means that the body A has 10,000 electrons more than the number of 10,000 electrons more than the number of protons. Suppose that a body is neutral. If a body is neutral, it means that that body has equal concentration of or equal number of electrons and protons. So this body A has 10,000 negative charge or 10,000 electrons, excess of 10,000 electrons. It means that compared to the number of protons, this body A has 10,000 electrons more than the number of protons. This body A has protons and electrons, but the number of electrons of A is 10,000 more than the number of protons. And this body B, it has 100 positive charge. It means that it has a deficiency of 100 electrons. Deficiency of 100 electrons, which is equal to 100 positive charge. In the case of B, B, the number of electrons are 100 less than the number of protons. That is why this body B has 100 positive charge. The body B has 100 positive charge. It means that this body B has 100 electrons less than the number of protons. Suppose that there are 1,000 protons. There are 1,000 protons in B. Then it has only 900 electrons. It has a deficiency of 100 electrons compared to the number of protons. And suppose that this body A has 10,000 negative charge. It means that it has 10,000 electrons more than the number of protons. Suppose that A has 20,000 protons. A has 20,000 protons. Then A has 30,000 electrons. 10,000 electrons more than the number of protons. If a body has a negative charge, it means that it has excess of electrons. And if a body has a positive charge, it means that it has deficiency of electrons. And if a body is neutral, it means that it has equal number of electrons and protons. And these two bodies are connected with a connecting wire. These bodies are connected with a connecting wire. Then these electrons will flow from the body which has more number of electrons to the body which has a less number of electrons. So in this case, electrons will go from A to B. Electrons will go from A to B. Electrons will flow from A to B. So these electrons flow from a body which is at a higher concentration of electrons to the body which has a less number of electrons. So we can say that there is a difference in the concentration of electrons. Means it is called potential difference. There is a difference in the concentration of electric potential. Electrons number, concentration of electrons. That difference is called potential difference. Suppose that if both the bodies, A is having 10,000 negative charge and B is also having 10,000 negative charge, then it has no potential difference. Both the bodies have equal potential. There is no potential difference. If both the bodies have equal number of electrons, then they have equal potential. There is no potential difference. So potential difference, when there is a difference in the potential, then only the flow of electrons can take place. So in order to maintain this flow of electrons, there must be a difference in the electric potential. There must be a potential difference. Then only the flow of electrons can continue. And if we connect an electrical appliance in this, then it can work. If we connect an electrical appliance in this wire, it can work. So this is the case of flow of electrons. In this case, electrons will flow from A to B. Suppose that A is a neutral body and B is a negatively charged body having 100 negative charge. A is neutral. In this case, this is A and this is B. This is having 100 negative charge and A is neutral. In this case, electrons will come from B to A. And suppose that A is having 10,000 negative charge and B is having 100 negative charge. A is having 10,000 negative charge, B is having 100 negative charge. In this, electrons will go from this body to this body. So, electrons always go from a body which is having more concentration of electrons to the body which is having less concentration of electrons. This is the direction of flow of electrons, or it is the current, and this is electronic current. So the flow of charge opposite to the flow of charge opposite to the flow of electrons, that is known as conventional current. It is known as a conventional current. The flow of electrons, the flow of charge opposite to the flow of electron, that is called conventional current. So in this case, electrons go from A to B, conventional current from B to A. In this case, electrons go from B to A and conventional current from A to B. It is always opposite to the flow of electrons. Then how do we measure this potential difference? How do we measure potential difference? So potential difference, so for maintaining the flow of electrons, there must be a difference in the electric potential. Potential difference must be there. How do we measure this potential difference? Potential difference is measured as the amount of work done in moving a charge. In order to move a charge, some work should be done. That amount of work which is done to move the charge, that is the electric potential difference. So potential difference is measured as the amount of work done in moving a unit charge from infinity to that point. This way we measure the potential difference. So this is the formula of potential difference. Now we see the unit of potential difference. The unit of potential difference is volt. The unit of potential difference is a volt. Unit of work is joule. Unit of work is a joule. And unit of charge is a coulomb. When 1 joule of work is done to move 1 coulomb of charge from one point to another point, then the potential difference is said to be 1 volt. 1 joule of work is done to move 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to that point, and potential difference is said to be 1 volt. So this is the definition of unit of potential difference. The next topic is electrical resistance. Electrical resistance. Electrical resistance. So what is electrical resistance? Electrical resistance means it is the obstruction offered by the material. Obstruction offered by the material to the flow of electrons or to the flow of current. That is called electrical resistance. Obstruction offered by the material in the flow of current or flow of electrons. That is called electrical resistance. Then electrical resistance depends on certain factors. One is nature of the material, then length of the material, area of cross section of the material, and temperature. These are the factors determining the electrical resistance. So electrical resistance is directly proportional to length of the material. Electrical resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section of the material. Then electrical resistance is measured by the unit ohm. The unit of electrical resistance is ohm. So there is one law also related with this, Ohm's law. So what is Ohm's law? Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor, is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. Current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends, provided the temperature and physical conditions remains constant. So more is the voltage, more is the current flowing in the conductor, more is the potential difference, or more is the voltage, more is the current flowing in the conductor. For removing this proportionality sign, we can multiply with a constant. That constant is taken as R. R into I. If we make R as a subject, then R is equal to V upon I. Then the unit of resistance is ohm, the unit of potential difference is volt, and unit of current is ampere. When a potential difference of 1 volt causes a current of 1 ampere to flow through the conductor, then resistance is said to be 1 ohm. So this is the definition of unit ohm. When a potential difference of 1 volt causes a current of 1 ampere to flow through a conductor, then resistance is said to be 1 ohm. Now the next topic is efficient use of energy. Efficient use of energy. How can we use energy efficiently? How can we use energy efficiently? How can we save energy? How can we efficiently use energy? Means how can we save a lot of energy? So these are some of the ways to save energy or efficient use of energy. So one is properly insulating the home, properly insulating the house. If our house is properly insulated, then we won't have to use heater in winter season, or we don't have to use an AC in summer season if the house is properly insulated. And then we have to replace old kind of luminescent bulbs by using LED bulbs and CFL, because LED bulbs and CFL bulbs, it consumes less amount of energy. For example, how much amount of light energy is provided with a 100-watt luminescent or incandescent bulb? How much amount of light energy can be provided with a 100-watt incandescent bulb? That much amount of light energy can be provided by a 10-watt LED bulb. So if we, instead of one this incandescent bulb, we can use 10 LED bulbs. So a lot of energy can be saved. Then now we have to, nowadays machines are coming with the latest technologies. In the case of this old refrigerator, old device, old washing machine and all, they consume more amount of electrical energy. If we have to save electrical energy, then we have to discard that old devices, and instead of that we have to use these machines with the latest technology, which need only less amount of electrical energy to work. And the case of the transportation things also, these vehicles and all, so we have to purchase vehicles with new technology. And another thing is that in between we have to do servicing of the vehicles, so that it can provide more mileage. So these are, and while constructing a house, it must be located at a proper place. It must have a proper number of windows, doors, ventilators and all, so that we don't have to on bulb during the daytime. So a lot of energy can be saved. If there is a sufficient number of windows and ventilators, we don't have to use electric fans much. If we don't use electric fans much, then we are saving energy. These are all some of the ways of efficient use of energy. So today we discussed the topic what is potential difference. Then we have also seen how potential difference is measured, the unit of potential difference. Then we have discussed the electrical resistance definition, the factors determining the electrical resistance, units, and so on. And at last we discussed the topic is the efficient use of energy. So this is all about today's topic. So in next class we will discuss a new chapter.